Hey everyone, greetings from London. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about the first book I read while here, Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. This was an awesome book to read here. So, Neverwhere is a story about a man named Richard who lives in London. He's a financial something or other. And he finds this girl on the sidewalk one night named Dor, and she's bleeding and hurt, and so he helps her. And two men come by to try and find her, and he hides her, and the next day as he's walking around, no one can see him, and they find someone to take his job, and his fiancée doesn't remember him, and it was a really cool novel. So he has to go through this world of London below to try to figure out what happened and to help Dor and to figure that whole thing out, and it was a great book to read here. It's just filled with the lore of London. Like, there's the Earl of Earl's Court, and there's the Blackfriars from Blackfriars Bridge, and Under London has all these characters and embodiments of kind of the city itself, and the feeling fits so well. So while I was here, I've been riding the tube a lot, as you may have gathered from my last video. It's the easiest way to get from place to place, and the tube is one of those weird places where you feel like you lose time. You go down, you get on your train, and it doesn't feel like a lot of time passes while you're on the tube. I mean, you hang out, you listen to music, you read your book, but then you get off and you find that 45 minutes has passed, which is a huge amount of time. And so that feeling is really cool, and especially going down into the tubes, you feel like you're going into this dark, kind of dusty door to another world. They very much feel like it. The tube system is super old. I mean, London has the oldest metro in the world. Really, really old. They have tube stops that have been closed up. They have tube stops that have flooded and people have died in them. And it's an extremely complex, complicated, awesome system, and a lot of this book takes place in it. Really, really cool. I highly recommend it, and it was really neat, just because you get all this weird lore of London throughout time, and London's a city where it's very easy to see this fantasy, because it's a really old city. People have been here since for ages. I mean, the first, like, kind of, I guess not written history, but there were tribal peoples here for ages, and then Caesar came over and conquered London, and what was then the city called Londinium, and there was a Roman settlement there for years, and then the Romans left, and about 200 years passed, and no one was really there. It was kind of a ghost town, and then Ludovic was established, and eventually that turned into London again. And so it's a very strange city. It feels really old, while at the same time being really new. The fire of London burnt almost the entire city down, so you have all those new buildings there. And then, again in the Blitz, a lot of buildings were brought down by the air raids, and so more new buildings got popped up. But as a result, you can see these huge, towering, brand new skyscrapers next to buildings that are 2,000 years old, structures that are 2,000 years old. And it lends a very strange, kind of timeless air to it, but you still are very aware of the time that exists. So, great book to read. I really, really enjoyed it. It was awesome to read on the tube every day and to go through those tube stops and see these places. So, check it out. And then if you liked this video and would like to see more like it, please click the like button and don't forget to subscribe.